So hello everyone. So today I am going to explain the unit model which was uh, released in 2015. The name of the paper was Unit a Convolutional Network for Biomedical Image Segmentation by Olaf Ronneberger. So basically this model works on the encoder decoder part where we have a contacting layer and a bottleneck layer and then an expansive layer. So we'll look into the code implementation in detail. I'm not going into the model explanation part. I will go into the code implementation. So this is the network architecture. So from this image we can see that it gives an input image of size 572 cross 572. Then it performs two convolution. 570, the first convolution gives 570 sides and the second convolution is of 568. So and then we perform the max pooling layer and again convolution and again max pooling. So this part is called the encoder part, also known as contracting part, because in this part we are minimizing the image size and contracting the specific features from the image. This is the bottleneck layer, and this is the expansive part, because in this part we are making resizing the image as the previous image. That is, we are increasing the image size, and also we are matching this image features with the features extracted in the downsample part, which is known as skip connection. So it gives a better idea of the image, and the final output layer we get the output map, the segmentation map. So the code looks like this. So first we'll import the torch library and then the neural network library from the torch module, and then we'll import the PIL image. So and then I have imported torch vision from the for the computer vision task, mainly for the image uh, part. Yeah, some problems. Okay. So now we will, since the image, so since the input image we passes through the two convolution layer, the 3 and having a channels of 64. So we'll define the double convolution layer. Input channel uh, channel. So here we have so this line shows that here I have defined a function that takes number of input and output channels as arguments. So now on equal to nm dot yeah. So this another sequential module is it is because since we are performing in a single layer, we are performing two convolution. Therefore, we are taking this another sequential. Then we perform the convolution with real activation function. So now then the input channel and then output channel and then kernel size is 3 as per the paper. So this is the input channel of the image. Then it gives the output channel and the kernel size is 3. Then we have the ReLU activation function. Okay. And again we'll perform the convolution layer. We'll just copy this part. But in this input we will have the output as the input as the output of this layer will be the input for this layer. So we'll write this output channel, and then again we'll copy this. So this is the sequential part, the first part. So this part is this part. This one is a convolution layer, first convolution layer, and then railway activation function, and then the second convolution, and then again railway activation function. That is the first layer. So now we will define the class for the unit model. Class unit. Fine. Initial. So now inside this we will define all the convolution and the max pooling layer as default. Next step. So goes like this. Super unit myself, and then init. So now, okay, now as in this figure you can see that we have one max pooling layer, and then again convolution, and again a max pooling, and again convolution, and the size decreases. The first size we have 64, and then the size decreases to 128, and then 256, then 512, and then finally 1024 in the bottleneck layer. So we'll write accordingly. So max pool, and then we'll define the kernel size. Kernel size is 2. Try this also too. So we can see this paper. So okay, so this is the network architecture given in the paper. We have 2 cost to max pooling and this trade-off 2 as I have shown here. Next I have the convolution layer of having 3 cost 3 kernel, and the size is 128, and the previous size was 64. So accordingly, so it's downsample. We'll define downsample conv underscore 1 as is the first layer. Layer cos 64. So this is the first layer. This layer we are having 1 means the grayscale channel, and 64 is the output channel. So this one is the first layer, and I will write similarly for the second and the third and the fourth layer. So just copy pasting this we get. So this will need self convolution layer 2, down convolution layer, and it will be 64 as the input, and then 128 as the output. Again 120 as the input, and then 256 as the output. Input 512 as the output. It will be the input, and the final output will be what? Okay, so this says that at each step the number of channels doubles from 64 to 128 to 50 to 56 to 512 and then 1024 and so on. This is the contracting part of the unit where the spatial dimensions get smaller but the feature maps increases. So mainly we extend these features by decreasing the image size. Okay, so the next step, now we'll define the forward model. Forward self image. So the x1 means self downsample as I defined above, down convolution 1 and then image, and x2 will be self max pole of x1, the output, so x1. So it means that we get the x1 from as the output from this layer and then which is used as input for this max pole layer. So now if I print this, what we get, so printing after first convolution will be x1 size, x1 dot size. So I'm printing the size of the first layer and then I will also print the size from the after the max pull layer. So print, copy this one, and this will be the x2 size. I will print the x2 as I'm getting this as x2. So then I will return x2. Okay, so now I will take the image. So now will if name equal to main image path, the image. So for this simple I have taken I will be taking only one image, so can show you. So okay, so this is the image I am taking for this tutorial. So, and the image I can image.png. Image.png. Again, image equal to image dot image path, and then I will convert it to 572 as the size of this image was different, and I want that image as per the paper. It is 572, so I will convert it into 572. So what this L means, I am converting this RGB image into grayscale image. L means we are converting this into grayscale image. As in the initial paper, the input has only one channel, so that's why I'm converting it into grayscale. Okay. Now I will use the transform for the to resize the image. Uh, Compose. Just resize. I'm resizing the image. 572. 572. And transforms dot to tensor. Okay. So this is the pre-processing pipeline where we are converting the RGB image into grayscale image, and then we are resizing the image, which is important for this code to be implemented as per the paper. So this what so what does this transform dot to tensor means? So basically it converts the image into a PyTest tensor and also scales the pixel values from the from 0 to 255 to 0 to 1, as this is the grayscale image. Mm, then we have the image tensor transform image. So I am giving the batch size as 1. Image, image tensor equal to image underscore tensor dot on squeeze 0, then image tensor to image tensor dot repeat batch size comma 1. Then the unit model, so model equal to unit, and then output will be model image tensor. And then I am printing the final output layer. So print final output image shape. So output dot shape. So this is the final output shape. I'm just printing the above one. Okay, so I have written the first part. So let's print this. Let's see what happens. Python unit underscore tutorial enter. Okay. Okay, so this is the output I'm getting. So there may be some Just a second. Terminal cd here. So Control S again. PL from image. Okay, so it will be image. Sorry, from PIL input image and from those input transform. Okay, Control S. So okay, there is some typing torch and then again torch vision. So some minor here. So you need to define unit. So define class module unit. Okay, unit to less. Its swing index is not defined. So line 14. Module and then module itself given itself. What's the problem? Image path, image convert health and image tensor unit. And image 14 and 50. So image 50 model unit. So unit. Let me check it once. Okay, so max pull down convolution layer, input channel, output channel, input channel, input channel. If I run it again, so its swing unit is not defined. Line 14. Okay, so I need to return con, then only can print Control S. Again the same error. And 50 and 50, sorry, 16. 52 module. Okay, so I will run this again. Python. Okay, so this error is in line 16. Okay, so it will be some indentation error. So let's try it now. So there's some I think possibly it will work now. Unexpressed right. So okay, so there's some typing error. Still okay, so right. Okay, so again double convolution layer. So it is double convolution layer. Input channel, output channel, output. So I will check it again. Then, so let's run it now. Then let's close. Okay. Oh, so it's finally done. So after the first convolution layer, so after this layer, I am getting the sizes one batch size 164 the input channel, and then after convolution, I'm getting 568 and 568 as in the papers. This one. Okay. And after max pooling, I am getting 220, 24, and 24. So this one. So this one is done. The first step. So now I will do similarly for the next layers. This one is second, third, fourth, fifth. So let's do it. Um, Clear. So I'll just copy this one. Okay. So first it will be second, third, fourth, fifth. So x1 size, x2 it will be x3, and then x4, 5, 6. So before this, I need to write all the functions. So this was the first layer, the first convolution, and then the max pool. Similarly, I will write for the second, third, and the fourth layer. So just copy pasting this, I can get. So cell convolution will be x1. It will be x2. So x2 will be the input for this layer, and this will be x3. Similarly, it will be x3, and then x3, x4. It will be x4, x5. 6, 5, 4, 6. Okay, so it will be 7, 6, 8, 7, 9, and then x7, x9. So this is of no use. So the convolution 2, convolution 3, 4, and then convolution 5. So this one is the bottleneck layer. So I can, so this one is first, second, third, and then fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and then this ninth. X9 is the bottleneck layer. So X9 is the bottleneck layer, and I am printing all this layer, and then I'll be returning the return X9. So if I run this again, I will get, check it out. Okay. So X9. Okay, there is some error. So it will be 8 plus. Okay, so now check it. Okay, I'm getting this. So the first convolution size is this one. The second, after max pooling, we get this, and then I get 128, 280 is to 280. This is 128, and then 280 cross 280, and then 140. This is 140, and then 136, 136, and this is the bottleneck layer. Patch size 1. This one is channel size, and then the size and height and width. So 124, and then 128 cross 128. So this is the downsampling part. We are done with the downsampling part. Now we will go for the upsampling part. So as in this paper, this is downsampling part. We have completed till this bottleneck layer, and then we'll perform concatenation with this upsample first layer and convolution, and then convolution, and again transpose convolution, or no, transpose convolution, then concatenation, and then again convolution. And this takes for the 4 steps: the first, second, third, fourth layer, and then the final we get a output segmentation map after the final layer. So let's do that. Okay, so So this was the downsampling part. Now we'll wait for the upsample one. Okay, so now self dot up underscore one. So we are performing transpose convolution as it is used to increase the size of the image. Because in the upsampling part we are increasing the size of the image and then we are concatenating. So conv image to the in channel and then the out channels with 512 and then kernel size will be will be 2 and sprite will be 2. So why I'm taking this kernel and slice is 2 because I am following this network architecture from this base paper. So this 2 goes to max pooling and then stride of 2. So this is used to then the transpose convolution to increase the size of the image, and then we will perform the double convolution. This is convolution of 3 cos 3 2 times. Double convolution layer to okay. So we do this for 4 times 4 left. Yes, given 1 2 3 4. So can copy this out 4 times. So this one is the output and this output will be the input for this layer. I want to and then 256. Six again similarly 256 28 6 4 and there is also a final layer for the final output map. For that we will use self dot out to mn dot convey channel 64 out channels 2 and then kernel will be 1. So now this is the so I can comment it out. This is it. And this is the upsampling part. Okay. So now for the concatenation, as in this image, we can see like this is the 136 and we get 104. So these are not the same size. So the size, so here the size of the image is larger than that of the size of the image. So first we need to crop this image and then we will concatenate, because for concatenation we need the size of the image to be same. So for cropping the image, we will define the crop function. You can define here crop image tensor target tensor. So I'm taking the original tensor and converting to target tensor according to your condition. So the condition will be target tensor. So this target size should be target tensor size and tensor sizes. Then delta I will minus it from the target one, so the difference get, and then the tensor will be equal to tensor bit divisible by 2. Sorry, 2. Then I will return the final output. Like this. Return original tensor. Tensor equal to tensor size minus delta tensor, and again the similar one, I just copy it out. Tensor size delta tensor. So I have defined the crop image part, and then we'll have, so in this so the function takes two inputs, the original tensor and the target tensor. The original tensor is largest feature map we save from the downsampling part, and the target tensor is the smaller upsample feature map we get after the transpose convolution. And then the target tensor is resized. So this line gets the shape of our smaller target tensor using a size parenthesis. A Python tensor shape is typically so patch, channel, and height and weight by using the index. So we are using index equal to 2. Why? Because we are grabbing the height. Since our feature maps are square, this also works with the width. Similar for the width. And some typing error. So, and this also same for this layer, the tensor size. Then for the delta tensor, this is a simple part where we are calculating the total difference in the size. For example, if the original size is 56 uh, and the target size is 52, we will get the difference is 54, and then we are dividing the difference with 2 to get the integer. Then we are returning the original tensor. So, and in this part, this first column it means keep everything in the batch dimension and the channel dimension. The second, the delta tensor size minus the delta tensor means that it says the start of the slice at pixel 2 and end it is tensor size minus 2. So this trims the 2 pixel from the top and 2 pixel from the bottom, and we get the similar sizes of both the original tensor and the target tensor, and now it is ready for the concatenation. So now after this I can write x equal to self dot upsample trans. Okay, and x9 by crop image. We'll mix it with the and concatenate it with x7 comma x. So for concatenation I can write x equal to self dot trans. So then we'll perform the convolution. So this is transpose 1 and this is crop image concatenating with the x7 layer. So this layer, this is the x7, we're concatenating this layer's features with this layer. So x comma this one and then self for and then convolution. Conv for 1 dot get for concatenation x comma y. Okay. So similarly for this rest of the layers do the same. Since there are 4 layers, so first, second, third, and fourth. We need to rename it as, so it will be x, transpose convolution 2 will be trans 3 convolution 3 will be transpose 4 and then convolution 4. So some changes need, so it will be trans x, else this input will, this output will be the, so this output will be the input for this layer, and then it will be x5, rest will be similar for this output will be the input for this layer, and then x3 for concatenation. Similarly for this, and finally I have one single layer for the output map, and it will have self dot out x. I will return x. So it's almost done. So what I'm doing here, first I have defined the upsampling part. So this is the transpose one conversion to the transpose convolution. It is taking the input size is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then transforming it into 512 size. So similar for the other layers, and this is the final layer. And then I'm taking the image from the transpose part, then I'm cropping it into cropping the input from the x7 layer. So x7 means this layer. So the crop image and I'm defining this crop image here using the tensor function. So this one, and then I am doing the similar things for rest of the layers. So now if I want to print all the layer sizes, so for this I will use print after first sample layer we get x dot size. So I need to print this shape for all the layers, so I can just copy it out. Second, third will be fourth upsample layer. It's almost done, I guess. Let's run it out. I will open the terminal, connecting my server, activating the environment. So now I will run this. So there are some errors. One, two. So some unexpected. So let me see. 125. So, so the code is almost done. So we have imported the file, the final check, imported the file. Double convolution, we defined the convolution layer for the upsampling and downsampling part. Then this is the crop part for the image that we have cropped from the upsampling downsample layer. Then we have defined the unit class. This is downsampling path, image size. This is the upsampling path. This is the forward of the upsampling and downsampling path. And so this is downsampling. We are printing everything. And this is the image path. We are taking the image, we are converting the image size into grayscale. Batch size 1, we are taking batch size as image 1. Image tensors, transform image for transforming the size, and then we are printing the final output. So if we print now, we can get perfect. So this is the downsampling part. We are getting all the shapes of the size image from the single layer. This is the first layer, second, this is max pool, then second layer, then second max pool, third layer, then third max pool, fourth layer, then fourth max pool, and this is the fifth layer. It is the bottleneck layer. And after bottleneck layer, we perform upsampling. That is, upsample means transpose convolution, then concatenation, and then convolution. So after the first upsampling layer, the image size we get is 512 with height and weight of 52, as we can see in the image. This one is 512, and this is the 52 or 52 weight, and then we get 256 and then 100. This is 256, 100 similarly, and after the final output layer we get this one. So the final output is 388 cross 388 and 2 channel. So this is the batches 1, 2 channel, and 380, 380. So this is the, so we are done with the unit model architecture. So all done. We'll also visualize this with the image, with the, and that we'll do in the next part. Okay, thank you.